You better dig in.
I'll get it.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Apologies to those people who may have been watching us online for we were slightly over the adjournment time. I resume the meeting at 3:29 and seek a motion in relation to agenda item 4.2. Deputy Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll move that council acting as the planning authority adjourns agenda item 4.2 until council's special meeting on the 5th of September 2023.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Churchill, thank you. No discussion on an adjournment motion, so I will put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? The motion is carried unanimously. Agenda item 4.2 is adjourned until the September the 5th special meeting. Thank you. Agenda item 5.1 is the financial reports. There is a recommendation on page 41. Sorry. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Thank you.
We've dealt with being a planning authority.
Thank you, councillor Young. Would you care to move the motion that we move out of planning authority?
I
Thank you.
so move.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? We are moving out of planning authority at 3:30. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, councillor Young. Agenda item 5.1 is the financial report for the period ending July 2023. There is a recommendation on page 41. Councillor Young, thank you.
Council receive and notes the financial reports as attached to this report for the period ending July 2023.
Councillor Young, thank you for that. And thank you for your point of order. I think it was remiss of me not to mention under regulation 25. I'm not totally sure it is in the agenda, so I'm not totally sure that I do actually have to read it out, but we have moved out of planning under that regulation. So where did we get to?
I'll put the
I'll
motion
second.
again if you like.
I'll second.
Councillor Woods will second. Thank you. Sorry for the confusion.
No confusion.
Are there any
No
questions?
trouble.
Are there any questions on the finance reports? No, no questions, no comments. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? It's carried unanimously. Thank you. There are no section 24 committee reports at agenda item 6. The information reports are for the Director Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Porch, who is in the chamber. There is a recommendation on page 46. Councillor Woods, thank you.
Thank you. I'll move that council note the information.
Seconded by the Deputy Mayor. Thank you. Any questions or comments from Mr. Porch in relation to this?
We have one,
Councillor
if I
Woods,
may,
yes,
on
thank
page
you.
45,
Mhm.
under capital works, 1 kilometre of Nugent resheeting road completed. Is this, and please excuse my ignorance, but is this the road that was damaged by the log truck movement some couple of years back?
Through you, Madam Mayor. Yes, that was. A section of it is towards the boundary is unsealed road, and probably about half unsealed, half sealed. And so the resheeting occurs on the unsealed section of the road, and is effectively it's like major maintenance. It's a process that needs to happen from time to time, and that's what occurred. So we build up the pavement layer by 100 millimetres and compact it, and that has a life of 10 to 12 years.
Can I ask a further question, Mayor?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
So that damage that was caused a couple of years back has been remediated then?
Through you, Madam Mayor, yes, it was part of the project, probably getting close to 2 years ago now, 18 months, 2 years ago. And yes, it's been remediated. We're keeping a bit of an eye on it. There is still a little bit of concern on the first corner where we still have a little bit of movement of material. So despite our having provided some stabilisation into that corner, we've still got a bit of movement and it may need a little bit more addressing to resolve. But otherwise, the rest of the road's holding up quite well.
Excellent, thank you.
Councillor Young.
Madam Mayor, may I ask Mr. Porch a question? Mr. Porch, there were works on the Revan Road and the southern end today. Is that work going to continue to the Wailanka Road junction and then go to at least the Elam Road junction and then hopefully along the Elam Road to the general southern section of Elam Road?
Through you, Madam Mayor, I'll have to take that question on notice. The works manager has his program organised and I am not sure of the extent of that at this moment.
I'd appreciate even some oral advice at a later stage. The reason I asked the question is I've just spent $3 under $1,000 getting the suspension on my little car fixed and the other one's still in the workshop. And most of it occurs through driving on rough roads and the 1 or 2 potholes on the area, especially along Wailanka then Elam Road. Thank you.
Can I ask another question
Yeah,
or
yeah.
acknowledge
Sure.
that the new signage at the waste transfer station at Orford that says whether we're open or closed is fantastic.
Well done.
Thanks. Is what I'm saying.
Any other questions or comments? I just have 2, page 44 and page 46. Page 44 relates to assistance that was provided to the Trabunna Fire Station to progress a memorial garden. I'd just like to acknowledge Mr. Porch and the staff for the work that they've done there. I believe it's going to turn out quite brilliantly in the big scheme of things. So, and the other one is I understand that there was a turning of the sod, I believe is the title, at the Bicheno Skate Park. After 20 plus years of trying to get a skate park or a wheel park there, it looks like we're on the way. So thank you to you, Mr. Porch, and your team for the work you did towards getting the tender and all the work done in relation to that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I think the community needs to be congratulated as well for being so committed to this project and for the amount of funds they were able to raise to actually achieve it for the community. So thank you. Nothing further? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 8 is 8.1, a request for event support, the Freycinet Challenge 2023. There is a recommendation on page 50. Councillor Woods, thank you.
I'll move that council approves the application for event support from Jamset Pipe Limited for the Freycinet Challenge event to be held on the 7th and 8th of October 2023 of $1,500 cash towards the cost of 3 safety boats for the event and in-kind support as resources permit.
Do I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor, thank you. And can I just make a note that there is the spelling error in the last part of that. It is actually resources, not recourses.
Yeah. I read it as resource.
You did indeed, Councillor Woods. Any question? Councillor Woods, do you wish to speak to your motion?
No, only other than to wish them well in this event. It's been going on for so many years now, so, and it's good to have council support in something as monumental as this. for the
Deputy Mayor?
coast.
Yeah, just that the physical and economic benefits of these events or this particular event is very well known, and just to be mindful, it's the type of event that many other communities would try and run if this event wasn't running. if this was a gap in the adventure sport market, this would get snapped up by a number of other small towns around Tasmania, so it's important we support it. Thank you.
I think it's important too, on page 48, it says no previous council of support 2021 and 2020, no record. I think it's no record because they didn't hold it. It was during the COVID era, I think, wasn't it? That's probably why there's no record. Would that, does that ring a bell? for
I think
people?
so.
Thank you. If there are no further questions or comments on agenda item 8.1, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against, the motion is carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 8.2 is a community small grant application for the Freycinet Volunteer Marine Rescue Association. The recommendation is on page 53. Councillor McQueenie, thank you.
I move that council approve the application for community small grant funding of $823 to Freycinet Volunteer Marine Rescue Association Incorporated, trading as Freycinet Marine Safety, for a contribution towards the service costs of 10 Stormy Life jackets and a laminating machine.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Churchill, thank you. Councillor,
I
can,
have a question. If I may.
yes, if
I
I
don't know
make,
what laminating means.
can I? Could I, Councillor McQueenie, do you wish to speak to the motion?
Just that I think that's really important to support this sort of volunteer organisation that's around public safety and service around these sorts of, critical issues in our municipality.
And Councillor Young, just in relation to your question, I suspect that a laminating machine would, by heat treatment, place a plastic, if you like, cover over this for their notices outside.
Thank you, Madam
I
Mayor.
would think, yes. Any other questions? Any other comments? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against, the motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. Agenda item 9, there are no notices of motion. At agenda item 10, there are no petitions. Agenda item 11.1, there are no questions on notice by councillors. Agenda item 11.2 is comments and statements by councillors. Councillor McQueenie.
Yeah, look, just a quick one. Friday was Vietnam Vets Day, 50 years since the war ended. I attended on behalf of the council, the Swansea service. At that service, a new concrete cross was created and it will set for Remembrance Day. So if anyone wants to go up and view the new cross, that's a replica of one that was erected by soldiers in Vietnam. But so it was a really lovely, albeit, important and serious moment. Also that the museum up there curated Vietnam vets exhibits, etc. So it was done beautifully to incorporate what was had on site, as well as the importance of the day.
Lovely, thank you. Any other questions or comments by councillors? Nothing further. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against, it's carried unanimously. Thank you. Sorry, what did I do? I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Deputy Councillor
What I had to say.
McQueenie,
So,
comment.
all I will say, even though we are on air, is it has been a somewhat difficult meeting.
And I supported it anyway.
Thank you. Thank you. So we might start again. Agenda item 12 is moving into closed session. Can I have a motion to move into closed session, please? Councillor Woods, please.
I'll move that council moves into closed session at 3:42 PM.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Deputy Mayor, thank you. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Those against? Motion is carried. Thank you.
I think
Goes to show we'll agree.
Sorry.
Goes to show we'll agree.
Just we're not off air yet.